I am Hawkeye, and this is my House of Horrors. And today I'm going to do a review to the remake of Assault on Precinct 13. Kind of getting back into working on doing some John Carpenter stuff. He did the original, but this was the remake, which this blows my mind. It is over 20 years old, this film. It doesn't seem like it should be that old, but it is. It was released in 2005. Now, I think this was a pretty good remake. Um, it kind of jumps through all the necessary hoops, if you will. No, it is not really anywhere near as good as the original Carpenter, in my opinion, the one that he did. But here we go. Here's a review for this film. And it was directed by Jean-Francois Richet, who's a French director. I don't think I've ever seen any of his other films that he's ever done. Um, so I believe that's how you pronounce his last name. But this was actually his very first Hollywood film he did, or American film that he did. And maybe to people out there wanting to get into Hollywood, maybe this is a good indication for you. He actually had a very good experience. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't bad. He really enjoyed his experience. And my guess is that is because he was likely he was likely within the budget that was set. So they were kind of giving him free space that he was enjoying to create this film. Now, this one was written by James DeMonico, sorry. He's worked with Ethan Hawke, who's in this film, and other films as well. But he also was a writer for, it looks like, 5 of the Purge films. I know Ethan Hawke was at least in one of those, I believe, as well as its series. I haven't seen any of those films. I've talked to one guy. He really liked these films. Interesting premise, but he also wrote those films as well. And it was distributed by Rogue Pictures in the U.S. And I got a copy right here, Assault on Precinct 13 in widescreen, right there. It's got some extras, which are cool, talking to the behind the scenes stuff about the weapons and characters and everything like that. So, it's not a bad version. I got that, I think, on Amazon. So there you go. Now this puppy had a budget of anywhere up to $30 million. So in 2026, that would be just under 51.3 million bucks for the budget. It made back 35.3 million. So 60.4 million in 2026. So no, it wasn't all that big at the box office, or didn't rake in what they were looking for. And my guess is at least probably twice what they got. Didn't happen. Maybe they should have. Did. I love the original. Maybe just stick to a smaller budget, whatever. But looks like they made their money back, I guess. So yeah, just to get into the story here of this film, before the credits roll, we see Ethan Hawke. As I said, he's one of the main characters in this film. He's an undercover cop, Sergeant Jake Ronick. And he's involved with this drug deal undercover. Unfortunately, yeah, you guessed it, it goes wrong, really wrong. And 2 of his partners, cops as well, they die in the process, and he is the lone survivor from this drug deal gone horribly bad. So we fast forward 8 months now, and Ronick, who is now a heavy drinking, pill popping cop, He's working in Detroit, working at Precinct 13. Um, and we also see that he has a dog. I think the dog's name is Shithead, I think is what he calls him. I don't know if I like that name, but that's the name of his dog. Anyways, it's New Year's Eve. Uh, Good setting, I guess. I I just sort of have to like hint towards. Well, Carpenter did Halloween as well, but I don't know if that has anything to do with it. But anyways, it's set at New Year's Eve. This is the last night of Precinct 13, and then they're shutting her down, getting out of the area. They're around a bunch of factories. There's not many homes around there. You see later in the film when you get outside, there's like zero homes around here that I could see. Although you're under the cover of darkness, but and snow. But yeah, so this is the last night of Precinct 13. Um, and then we also see the other main character, Larry Fishburne. Um, he is playing this bad dude named Bishop, who gets caught for killing an undercover cop. There's a lot of undercover cop stuff going on in here. Anyways, so he got caught. He's in the slammer. He's on this bus now with all these other criminals. They're being transferred, I believe, to somewhere else. But the other criminals on the bus, first we have Beck, played by John Leguizamo. He's great in this. It's always great to see him play a bad guy. He really, I don't know. He's got the look and everything. It's great to see him do that. There's also a guy named Smiley, played by rapper Ja Rule, and Anna, played by Aisha Hines. So there's the four of them. But due to the snowstorm, they're being redirected to Precinct 13 until the storm dies down. Thing is, once they all get in there, all snuggled, everybody's nicely in their cell. The precinct is swarmed by this ultra SWAT team, led by, super corrupt cop, Captain Marcus Duval, played by Gabriel Byrne. Good actor. It's too bad he's definitely good in the role, and I'll probably say this later. Nobody in this film turns in a bad performance. Everybody does well in their role. I just wish there was a little bit more for Byrne to do than just sit around and scratch his chin and give orders. Like, I wish there was maybe something a little bit more for him to do in this film. But anyways, he's definitely good in the role. But he's leading this because what they want to do is they want to kill Bishop because he's had dealings with Bishop. And Bishop's going to now blow the whistle on Duval and all the other super corrupt cops that are a part of this. So he's looking to kill Bishop. So, of course, the people in the precinct need to try and survive and stave off the extreme pressure put on by the SWAT team and getting in there and killing everyone on sight. So there you go. That's the story in a gist there for you. Now, the best actors to me in this film, is Fishburne and Leguizamo. They're the bad guys, right? And that's kind of usually the way it is. The bad guys are usually written better, or there's more to them. There's a lot to the Ethan Hawke character, but my issue, I'm not saying I'm not saying he was totally unbelievable in his role, but I'm just not 100% sold on Hawke being this cop. I don't know what it is, because I don't think Hawke's a bad actor, or he puts in a bad performance, or gets hammy, or anything like that. It's just, I don't know, in my mind, I can see why they did it. They wanted something different. In the original, they had a black cop and a white bad guy. So they switched that over for the remake. Okay, I gotcha. But personally, I think I would have rather seen Fishburne as the cop and Hawk as the bad guy. I would have liked that. I think there would have been more there. Um, I would have liked that better. Just me though. Maybe in the end this was the better way to go. Um, I just feel it would have worked better for me, but maybe it was just too similar to the original for these guys. I don't know, whatever. But there are a couple of female characters that to me make me scratch my head, and maybe to some of the women out there, they're like, yeah, but some of these male characters are doing the same for me. I don't know, but first off, we have Iris, played by Drea D'Amato. She's a secretary of the precinct in the original film. She survived in this one. She survives as well. But getting to know her character, I guess you see there's clearly no dress code at this precinct. And it's on purpose. You don't exactly see what she's wearing when you're first introduced to her, or you do as the film goes on, but it's not like, I don't know, you get a really good look at what she's wearing because, um, yeah, I don't know, maybe I'm getting old here, but she's like a step away from looking like a prostitute and she works for the cops. So I don't know. And it's New Year's Eve, it's not Halloween, so it's not like she's dressing up for any reason. That's just how she dresses. I'm not sure why the writer Demonaco went this way. I wouldn't have. It doesn't, in my mind, seem to add any strength to the character or any uh, real motivation to the character because her relationship with Fishburne in this is nowhere as good as it was in the original. That seemed to be a better written, deeper relationship between the two. Where in this, it's just like they have maybe a couple conversations, which are good, but it doesn't add up to what you get in the original film, in my mind. Um, Anyways, and then the other character is Dr. Alex Sabian, played by Maria Bello. She, of course, does well in this role as well. And she's at this precinct to see if Ronak can still do his job. So she's there for a psyche check, I guess is what you'd say. Um, and then she leaves, but then I think her car breaks down. I forget. Or the snow's so thick. I forget. But she comes back, and then all hell breaks loose. But of course, Ronak thinks she has the hots for him, and maybe she does, because she goes all unprofessional and stoops to his level and starts making fun of him. Um, so I hope if I'm ever in a situation where I need a doctor, in Ronak's case here, I don't get her or anyone like her because, yeah, I'm not saying he didn't deserve it, but yeah, you can't stoop to those levels. Come on now. Anyways, but anyways, beyond whom I've mentioned so far, you actually have a pretty good cast in this film. We also have Brian Dennehy. I always liked him. He plays the corrupt cop, Sergeant Jasper O'Shea, kind of like First Blood a bit here. I think they even like reference that film. Very good Stallone film. My favorite Rambo film, by the way. Um, but yeah, so you got Brian Dennehy. You also have Kim Coates as Officer Rosen and Dorian Harewood. Sorry, I always remember him from Full Metal Jacket as Gil. They're the cops that bring the busload of criminals to Precinct 13, and Harewood's the one driving the bus. So there you go. Now, personally, I think how this film goes. Once you get out of the first act, it gets better. I'm not saying the first act is bad. It's just sort of um uh, I'm sorry, it is a remake. So like when you think of the original, it's just like it was faster paced. It might have been like anywhere close to 15 minutes shorter. So you get to the story quicker. You're right in on these characters. So like the introduction to Hawk and Fishburne weren't in the original film. Um, they're just there. They've just been like, you know, it's in that one day. Um, but once you get out of that first act, it gets better. The action's good. Um, and yeah, and there's some tension built. Um, and the tables start to turn a bit when the criminals are brought out of their cells and given weapons, including a Tommy gun, which is pretty cool. Um, but it adds tension that, in my mind, is very like George A. Romero esque, which is totally fine because that was the influence Carpenter got for the first film. You know, a bit of the Night of the Living Dead, like the one setting a little bit, and tensions arising between the people who are in this horrible situation together. So it's here as well, between the cops and the criminals, really. And it asks questions like, who do you trust? Well, the answer is trust no one. I think I learned that in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, that one. But yeah, so it asks those questions. And I do like how things are different in this remake. It's not a complete retread of the original. Some of the things in here, like I've mentioned, I'm questioning within characters. I'm questioning why'd you go that way? Why was that added? But I like how, things are different. It's set in Detroit. The other one was in LA. This is New Year's Eve. It's a winter time, terrible storm. There's some different things going on that make it try and make it its own picture, right? But I must say it's sad to me that the ending of the film doesn't actually take place in Precinct 13. It's out in a forest, taking you completely out of the cop shop and into the forest, which personally I would not have done. I would have left it within the Precinct 13 and have the showdown in there. I think that would have been better. Um, yeah, personally, like it was done in the original once again. Because by taking it out and putting you in the forest, it allows you as the viewer to take a giant big breath and kind of exhale that you were in this precinct at all. So I don't know. I think by keeping it within that, Precinct 13 would have been a better way to do it. And in the end, Hawk lets Fishburne run away. Now, this makes me ask questions. Do we not think anybody's going to be looking for him? Yeah. I guess they're on to um, the fact of all these corrupt cops, and maybe they are aware of, okay, the cop he killed was corrupt, but he still committed murder. He still was doing all the bad things he was doing. So they're still going to be going for him. I don't know if they'll light him up on death row, but they're still going to be going after him. And so we have to believe he got away forever. Um, I don't. But I guess that's what you're supposed to believe in the end. And I'm sorry, but no question, I prefer the ending from the original film where Napoleon Wilson looks like he's still going to be facing the death chair, or, still going to be executed. While here we get a much more happier ending that really makes me question some things. Like, okay, like that's it. He gets away forever. Uh, anyways, now in this film, there's lots of swearing. If you want to get in there and see if you're pronouncing these words correctly, the F word is used 127 times, so that might get the ears a bleeding. So yeah, there's lots of cursing in here, and it was filmed in Detroit, where the film was set, as well as in Toronto and Hamilton, up in Ontario, Canada, as well. So that's interesting. And the biggest laugh of the film came to me when Leguizamo, one of the corrupt cops from the SWAT team, gets inside the precinct, and then Ja Rule's there, and I think he starts shooting him, but he has a bulletproof jacket on. I'm trying to remember, but Leguizamo's got a sword, and he just like goes right into him with this sword and kills him. And after he does that, Ja Rule's like, "Are you okay?" And Leg was almost like, "Yeah, he's getting better." I thought that was hilarious. Like, you just killed a guy and you're getting better now. That really helped you out. But that really dives into his character, and the fact this guy really is a criminal, and how he at first really wants to. It seems like he really wants to get to know Fishburne's character, and then in the end he just wants to escape, get out of here, and hey, not spend the rest of his life in jail. So, but anyways, that is the remake to Assault on Precinct 13. I really did enjoy it. Yeah, that's it. So I'm gonna go from here. I'm gonna get back into and complete the rest of the Halloween films. There's 5 of them. I'll get in there, do a review for all those, and then I'm gonna do a Halloween ranking as well at the end, because I've seen all of the Halloween films. Whew, and see how it goes from there. But until next time, guys, enjoy your film watching.